Welcome. Welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. Whether you are just starting the Spring Boot application or you are already building the production grade API, one thing for sure, you just can't ignore Spring Data JPA repositories. Why? Because they save your hours of coding, let you focus on your business logic, and still give you the full control over your database queries. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the everything you need to know about the Spring Boot Data JPA repositories, what they are, how they were going to work, most importantly, how you define them and use them in your real world projects. Whether you are a fresher trying to land your first Java backend job or you are an experienced developer looking to clean up your data layer. In this tutorial, this is packed with value. By end of this video, you will know how to create the repositories, how to write the custom queries using this method names and the query, and use the advanced features like pagination, all without writing the boilerplate code. So let's dive into and make your Spring Boot application very fast, very clean, and smarter. Make sure you watch this video till the end. What is Spring Boot Data JPA Repository? Now, if you are aware, Spring Boot Repository is an interface. It is going to be an abstract. So there are CRUD operation which you are going to perform, right? Create, update, read, and delete, right? So these are the custom operations which you can perform on the database entity. So any entity where you are trying to do, these are the four operations which you need to perform. Now these repositories are automatically going to generate this query based on the method names. Now it will eliminate your manual work. Okay, so where you earlier used to write the SQL queries or where you have to write your JPQL queries, right? So this particular JPA repository is built on top of the JPA for persistence, right? Second, it is an Hibernate. So the default implementation of an JPA implementation. So we can make use of that. And Spring Data JPA, it supports the repository for it. So it is going to support the repository. Now, what is the key features when it comes to Spring Data repositories? It is going to auto generate the query based on the method whatever you write or the method names what you are going to write. Now it also gives you a pagination and sorting support which it is not earlier provided. Now it also supports the custom JPQL and also you can write your native SQL queries on top of that. Now you also can perform the CRUD operation without you need to implement any middleware inside. So these are the benefit and these are the key features when it comes to Spring Data JPA repository. Now we'll look into the repositories which are there. So it provides several database interfaces. I would say CRUD repositories. Okay. The first one is CRUD repository. So this is one of the very basic repository operation. So it is going to give you create, update, delete, and operations inside it. Second comes the pagination and sorting repository. Now it has got the additional pagination and sorting functionality on top of what it was given in the CRUD repository. So along with the CRUD repositories methods, it will have the pagination and sorting methods enabled. Now JPA repository, it will include everything from the above, that is CRUD repository and the pagination sorting. So it is going to have that particular specific methods which can be performed for the batch operations, right? Now we'll look into the hierarchy. So it is very important because this is one of the important interview questions, like what are Spring Data repositories. So they may ask you the difference between them. So you need to understand which is the root level interface and then what are the implementation and how the hierarchy goes on, right? So the repository is one of the marker interface. It will not have any methods. So basically it is used to identify that these are the interface, and it is while scanning the Spring Boot application, when it is trying to scan those particular component classes, right? It will determine that whatever classes is going to implement this particular interface, it should be considered as a data repository for it. Second comes the CRUD repository. We already seen this is going to extend the repository, right? So it will provide you the basic methods like say find by id, find all, delete by id, etc. Now this is very simple for data access layers. Third comes pagination and sorting. Now this is going to extend the CRUD repository. Okay. Now additionally on top of what we have seen in the CRUD repository, it will have the pagination and sorting methods, like it will have find and all, the variations with the pageable, find and all with the sorting mechanism, right? So along with that, it will give a provision. Now comes JPA repository. Now this is going to extend the pagination and sorting repository. Along with that, it is going to add some specific features like batch operation. We have save all, flush, delete in batch, right? Advanced persistent layer behavior is given to us. Now, if you look at the very hierarchy, the root thing is the repository, and ultimately JPA will have all this particular functionality. Now, when it comes to practically implementing this, how do you define that particular JPA repository? Now, in order to have that particular thing, we need to have the first thing as an entity. Okay, and based on that only you will be able to perform or create the repository of it, right? So, the very basic thing is that you have to create the entity. Now, let's take an example. User is an entity. It will have a primary key, and it will have some username and the email ID. Okay. Along with that, next what you have to do is that you have to create a repository. Now we already discussed. So if you are user repository, you are creating a user repository, you can extend that particular JPA repository. Now we already discussed JPA repository is going to be an all the combination of that repository, CRUD repository, and the other details, right? Like the pagination and sorting. So along with that, we are giving it as an thing. Then you can write your custom queries. Let's say you wanted to find the user name, the user with the help of the username. So you have to give that particular username, and the custom query can be written over here. Or if you want to identify or find the email containing with certain string, okay. So this is going to be automatically implemented by the at the runtime, and also by the Spring Boot. So you doesn't need to write the implementation. So Spring Boot will automatically take care as a proxy for it. Now the fourth thing, what is this? You have to implement the service. Now along with this particular, you have to auto wire this particular repository, and then you have to call that particular method which you already written in that. Okay, so it is going to call that particular thing. Lastly, we have to enable that particular JPA repository. Now at the main application, which is at the rate Spring Boot application, where we have this particular annotation, you have to tell, like, on which particular package we have to enable the repositories, right? So this is a base package. You have to give that particular base package, so it will scan that and it will create that particular piece. Now how do you write your custom queries in it? So you have, like, JPQL, or you can write your own native SQL queries for the complex queries which are not easily available with respect to the current implementation. So if you see that the rate query, you write it, and then this is just one small example, but this can be used for the complex queries, where you are getting the username by email, user details by the email, right? So second, the query is available. If you see, there is a custom query written where it has got some user like and the native query, right? Now there are some derived queries as well. So you can actually write some derived queries based on the method name. So now the method name, let's say the find by username. So it is going to implement internally. It is going to write a condition where username, right? Email by containing like this. Now like will be added. Email and the username, right? So the and is already appended over here. Delete, then delete by ID, right? So it is going to delete the ID. Count by event. So you can actually count it where this particular username. Now pagination sorting, we already discussed this. So it will support the pagination and sorting. Now if you see the page of that particular username along with that particular find by user ID, so these are all supported. Now you have to give the page request of, like, the starting to the 10, then how many in that particular rows to be written up, or the pages. So you can also sort it by the ascending order or the descending order inside this. So you can pass a particular pageable in that, then you can return the page of it. Now custom repository implementation. This is one of the advanced feature. You can provide your own custom implementation for your complex logic. Let's say you want your custom repository, you can add actually create a method over there, and then you can write your own complex logic over here, right? So you can call the entity manager, create a query, and then you can actually write that particular user repository. I hope this video was very helpful to you and it got an understanding what exactly the Spring Data JPA repository is about, what is a hierarchy, when to use what kind of different repositories are available. Thank you. Thank you for watching.